Good evening, guys. Lexus Driver here. On this video, I'm going to be reacting to my favorite part of the Bad Guys film, uh, which is which is a really sad and depressing scene. Well, I would say depressing, a very depressing scene. After Mr. Wolf's friends left Mr. Wolf, and Mr. Wolf went with Diane. Mr. Wolf, it looks like it felt like he's been defeated, like as if he lost everything. He lost his friends, and it felt like nobody will like him anymore. But Diane, Diane is the only character that was really like a true friend to Mr. Wolf. Because Diane, she can actually see herself in Mr. Wolf's shoes, because Mr. Wolf, he is a criminal. Like he stole things, but Mr. Wolf, he's like building his moral compass. So but at this scene, Diane reassures Mr. Wolf um, that he's doing the right thing, and that his friends, if they're real friends, they'll understand. Because, Mr. Wolf, he has friends, but true friendship, they'll always understand, especially in times of hardship. Now, for this video, I might get a copyright. I'm probably going to get a copyright claim for this video, but I don't care. I'm doing this for the sake of the video. So, anyway, guys, without further ado, let's see this scene. And also, I'll give my thoughts about this scene and how I feel about it, and also the reasons why I love this scene. So, let's do it.
Hey, you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I'm very, very unokay. Just left the only friends I've ever had. So what am I doing?
I know this isn't easy. Leaving everything behind.
Do you?
Yeah. I was the best thief in the world. Fast, fearless, inventive. I just had one thing left to steal.
The golden dolphin. So you went after it.
I didn't just go after it. I had it. And a clear escape route. But all I saw in the end was the tricky fox that they always told me I was. It changed everything. So now, instead of hurting people, I'm helping them. I'm still me. I'm just me on the right side. You're doing the right thing. And someday your friends, if they're real friends, I think they'll understand.
Aww.
Now come on, let's get inside. You look like you just busted out of a prison. Guinea pigs?
Marmalade. Let's bounce.
So that's the scene of Diane cheering up Mr. Wolf. The reason why I love this scene is because Diane, like I said, Diane saw what she looked like in Mr. Wolf's shoes, because Mr. Wolf, he wanted to be the good guy. I mean, sure, he is wanting to be the good guy, because when he gave everything back, like everything he stole from people, he's giving it all back as an apology that he robbed them, and that to show that he's done robbing people. And also, this part right here, if I could find it. Yeah, this part here, it looked like Mr. Wolf felt like he's defeated, like he lost everything, including his friends, and it felt like, he's saying to himself, what kind of person am I? I know that's like, this film has anthropomorphic characters, but I just like to say person, because I have no words to say about it. But seeing Mr. Wolf like this, you feel really bad for him. Like me personally, I feel so bad for him. He lost his friends over wanting to be the good guy, and like he's saying to himself, "What kind of person am I? I want to be the good guy, but my, but it, I just lost my friends." So yeah, when Mr. Wolf said that, when Mr. Wolf said that he's not okay, he's very unokay, he lost his friends. That line, and also um, Mr. Wolf, like at this attitude, it made me feel like Mr. Wolf was close to tears because, like I said, how defeated he is. But yeah, I really feel bad for Mr. Wolf because also this video I found on YouTube. I actually commented on this video that I said that it's bad enough when Mr. Wolf wants to be the good guy in front of his friends and telling him that they're holding him back or being obstacles, but it's worse when he loses his friends over wanting to be the good guy. So I'd say Mr. Wolf's current situation he's in, I would say it's already worse because he lost his friends over wanting to be the good guy. But fortunately, Diane understands what Mr. Wolf is going through, and she is rooting for not just Mr. Wolf but also his friends because Mr. Wolf's friends, Mr. Snake, Mr. Shark, Mr. Piranha, and Miss Tarantula. Even though they left Mr. Wolf, they kind of left him in a rather selfish way because they viewed they just want to stay being the bad guys and refuse to being the good guys. But Mr. Wolf, he just wants to be the good guy. He's done robbing people and giving everything back was an apology to everybody he robbed, and also Diane also talks about her backstory because like Mr. Wolf, Diane used to be a bad guy. Like she's a professional thief. Um, Diane, talking about her backstory, it makes me really like this scene even more because Mr. Wolf he's like building his moral compass. Diane built her moral compass. Mr. Wolf is building his moral compass, and Diane is actually helping him. So I'll show you if I could find. Yeah, so like Mr. Wolf, Diane actually went after the golden dolphin. Um, but the golden dolphin in this movie, I feel like it's cursed because anytime someone gets the golden dolphin, there's always a negative impact. So Mr. Wolf, when Mr. Wolf and his friends swipe the golden dolphin, just as they're about to leave, they got caught, and the golden dolphin fell out of Mr. Shark's dress, and yeah, so I would say the golden dolphin is cursed, and also the part where Diane got the golden dolphin, right here, like she had the golden dolphin, like she had it and about to steal it, but unfortunately, like I said, the golden dolphin is cursed because anytime someone touches the golden dolphin, there's always going to be a negative outcome. So the negative outcome for when Diane tries to steal the golden dolphin was when she tried to steal the golden dolphin, she looked at herself in the mirror that that she'll always be viewed as the tricky fox. That's hard to catch because Diane before she became the governor of California, um, Diane was the Crimson Paw. So as a result, Diane decided to put back the Golden Dolphin and decide to build her moral compass because at this point Diane knows what's right. She can distinguish what's right and what's wrong. Um, in the bad guys film, Mr. Wolf wanting to be the good guy. This is when we see that Mr. Wolf can distinguish what's right and what's wrong. Even though he's a bad guy, he's starting to shut off being the bad guy, like building his moral compass. Um, Diane, she built her moral compass after giving back the Golden Dolphin. She built her moral compass, became governor of California. Mr. Wolf, realizing what a good guy is, decides to give everything back, and as to show that he's done robbing people and to apologize to the many people he robbed, and and Mr. Wolf is like building his moral compass. Yeah. So when Diane mentioned that when Diane mentioned that that Mr. Wolf's friends, if they're real friends, they'll understand. Which is true because um, you know a true good guy should always have, well, I wouldn't say should always, like, a true good guy always has friends, Professor Marmalade. He had the elements of being a good guy, kind-hearted, but the one ingredient he forgot is friends, because throughout the story we see that Professor Marmalade doesn't have any friends, but Mr. Wolf, Professor Marmalade, he believes that he's a good guy. He is a good guy. He has the elements of being a good guy. But I would say that Mr. Wolf, he's a true good guy. Yeah. So when Diane said that your friends, if they're real friends, I think they'll understand. It it eases Mr. Wolf's sadness. He cracked a smile, like he smiles, uh, and yeah, so shows that Diane cheered up Mr. Wolf even at times of hardship. So I would say that Mr. Wolf, he's a true good guy because he already distinguished what's right and what's wrong, giving everything back giving everything he stole back to everybody, as to show that he's done robbing people, and to show that he truly changed. Um, so that shows you that Mr. Wolf is really a true good guy. And Mr. Wolf, a true good, being a true good guy, he has friends. His childhood friend, Mr. Snake, and his three friends, Mr. Shark, Mr. Piranha, and Miss Tarantula. Um, his friends, leaving him, uh, shows that they don't understand what Mr. Wolf is going through, but when they go back home, they realize, Mr. Wolf can convince his friends that they can be more uh, than just scary, stereotypical predators, because the bad guys, you know, uh, in a fairy tale, I wouldn't say a fairy tale, like in other tales, um, the wolf, the fox, the jackal, the coyote, a shark, a piranha, a tarantula, and a snake. They're always viewed as bad guys, bad, scary, evil characters. Whereas guinea pigs and other innocent-looking characters like rabbits or any other prey. They view it as a protagonist, but in this film, they swapped it. They swap it. Mr. Wolf, he's a scary predator. Um, he's a scary predator, but he's the main protagonist of the film. Um, so is Diane. She is a predator, but she just shed away those stereotypes and and is like the secondary protagonist. Um, Whereas Professor Marmalade, he's the main antagonist. He's a prey, but we all know who Professor Marmalade really is at this point of the film. He's he may look like a meek prey, as what Judy Hopps says in Zootopia. He is really a bad guy. So um, what else? Um, no matter how many times I would see this part of the bad guys, it's a very touching moment because uh, even though Mr. Wolf lost his friends, at least at least Diane is the one who understands what Mr. Wolf is going through. Um, but Mr. Wolf, his friends, one of his friends, Mr. Snake. Mr. Snake knew Mr. Wolf ever since childhood, so uh, a true friend, like a true friend, even though friends fight, uh, the, they'll understand sooner or later. But the hardest part in life is even though friends will understand, that doesn't mean that they would forgive them immediately. So I can tell that Mr. Wolf's friends, they will understand, but forgiveness is something that will have to be achieved if they will truly understand what Mr. Wolf wants to go with being the good guy. And yeah, so the hardest part in life is uh, is always forgiveness because forgiveness is like how should I describe this? Trying to regain a friendship after an argument. So even though Mr. Wolf's friends will understand, forgiveness is something they would have to take into account. And yeah. So anyway, guys, I know this video is pretty short. Uh, it's just that I just want to discuss my favorite part of the Bad Guys film. I really love this scene. I'm pretty sure people who watch me in this video, I'm pretty sure everybody will agree on this scene. Like yeah, so mm, Mr. Wolf cracking a smile, Diane understanding what Mr. Wolf is going through. You know, as Diane stated, well, I'm gonna take back what I just said about this video being short. When Diane stated that leaving this life behind is very hard, um, I I would agree. I would agree with Diane and Mr. Wolf. I agree with him that that I understand, like, Mr. Wolf wants to leave being a stereotypical predator, like, leave this all behind. It is very hard to shed, but at the same time, as if you have friends, like, Mr. Wolf, he's been friends with Diane Foxington. He has his girlfriend. His girlfriend understood what Mr. Wolf is going through, and Mr. Wolf, he can do that. He can do this. He can build his moral compass with the help of friends. like Diane Foxington, because Mr. Wolf, if he didn't have any friends, this is actually very hard for him to shedding the the scary stereotypical wolf he is. Um, but Mr. Wolf, he has friends. He can go through this together with Diane, um, and also uh, also, like I might have told you guys already about this part of the bad guys. Um, that the bad guys teaches you a moral lesson about friendship. Like, sure the bad guys teach you a moral lesson that crime doesn't pay. You leave the life of crime behind, but the life of crime doesn't forget you. But I I believe that the biggest moral lesson of the bad guys is friendship. Um, this is the bad guys really teaches you a lesson about friendship, um, like knowing who your real friends are. Mr. Wolf, he thought that Professor Marmalade would shape his morality, but in reality, Professor Marmalade only cares about himself. He doesn't care about anybody. He only cares about himself. So, Professor Marmalade, he's really a scumbag. But Mr. Wolf's friends, his girlfriend Diane Foxington, his childhood friend Mr. Snake, and his three friends Mr. Shark, Mr. Piranha, and Mr. Tarantula, uh, they they've been Mr. Wolf's real friends all the time. So even I mean like uh, shows a lot of loyalty between his girlfriend and his friends, and they never stab him in the back, because when Mr. Wolf's friends left him, they didn't betray him. They just left him out of anger, that of Mr. Wolf wanted to be the good guy, but even though they left him, they never betrayed them. They just they just had to understand in their own accord. And Mr. Snake, he does understand, but he decides to keep it to himself. He decides to help out Mr. Wolf in his own accord, go undercover and take down Professor Marmalade. So the bad guys, I would say, the biggest moral lesson is friendship, knowing who your real friends are. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Uh, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.